What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Straight Betting. Recording this pretty late at night. It's going to be up early Sunday morning. And guys, I think we talked about it with Joel on the last episode that we did. How excited we get for week one, but like, oh yeah, let's tread lightly, right? Well, guess who's not exactly treading lightly? Me. Dude, you had some time this weekend. Obviously, don't work on the weekends, so had some time. And yeah, man. Um, the more you look at props, the more you bet, right? So I spent a good amount of time looking at some bets, and yeah, man. So coming back at it with part two. This is gonna be short and sweet, so I'm gonna try to get into it quick. But before we do so, guys, I'm gonna quick shout out Underdog, man. I have, I'm not sponsored by Underdog, but I, do have a code there, but I have never like promoted it really. I've always been a fan of their platform, but I'm not a fan of having to parlay stuff. I went on my Underdog app today and I made a straight bet. And that's the first time I've ever done that. So I don't know if Underdog's just like fully offering straight bets now, but I'm in North Carolina. And if they are, that's huge. Or if they are in your state, it's massive because Underdog guys love them, but they post every single line. So really, it's tough to be efficient on every single line when you're posting every single line, if you get where I'm coming from. But that's what I love about Underdog, man. It's like summer league doesn't matter. Random role player in NBA, NFL doesn't matter. They're going to be up on Underdog. So, yeah, man. Guys, I highly recommend go checking out Underdog. And of course, guys, if you want to support the channel and get a free 50 to play with, use code BETTN when you make that deposit. I'll have a link down below to download Underdog as well. So make sure to go through that. But yeah, seriously, guys, Underdog having straight bets is an absolute game changer, and I'm very, very happy to give them a shout out right now. All right, guys, first play of the day. I mean, it's been sitting on the background for a little bit now, so let's not delay it. I'm going with Troy Franklin over 18.5 receiving yards. I believe best price is at FanDuel now. I played it at MGM. That one moved a couple. So yeah, FanDuel has a 18.5 minus 114, and that's a most liquid book, so that's a good thing for you guys if you want to tail. But yeah, look, he's actually been a guy. So I'm a Broncos fan, guys. Maybe kind of a homer pick. He's been really having a consistent drumbeat from Sean Payton, Joe Lombardi, even like the higher ups in the organization. They kind of backed it up by trading away Devon Vele too. Obviously, they got a good offer from the Saints, but it's just been a consistent drumbeat. Like they've brought up Troy Franklin more than they've really brought up Pat Bryant, who's a rookie, which is surprising because rookies will get talked about a ton. Marvin Mims, a guy who always gets talked up a ton as well. So Troy Franklin, man. On top of like the consistent camp buzz, all that stuff, he did pretty much all of his work from the slot in the preseason. He's going to line up there a ton because obviously Devon Vele was playing in the slot. And being in the slot just really raises your floor, which is why I'm not taking any alts. I think that he's actually going to be pretty consistent this year since he's playing in the slot. Another thing, guys, is that Marvin Mims is technically ahead of him. I'm really not buying that. I think that, as a Broncos fan and as someone if you follow football closely, you kind of know that Mims, he's an awesome player. Don't get me wrong. But he cannot run like an intermediate route. He can either go deep or catch a screen pass, and he's great after the catch. But he's just not a route runner like whatsoever. So I really don't actually think he's going to be, a high volume receiver. And Sean Payton really doesn't have sticky preseason usage either. But I do think the slot thing will stick from Franklin because Courtland Sutton's an X. Mims is not like a route runner. You're not going to put him in the slot much, I don't think. And then Pat Bryant, the other guy who should be in the mix a little bit, he's just big as shit. And yeah, maybe he could play the slot, but I don't know. I think it's going to be Franklin who's going to be kind of a vertical slot for this team. So yeah, man, think that the running game is going to open up some explosive plays even more so than it did last year. Obviously, they had a non-existent running game. And yeah, I think that Franklin, he's going to be, like a 65% route participation guy, play from the slot, so he'll be consistent. And I just think this line's too low, man. I think that maybe after week one, we'll see like a 28.5, 30.5 line or something just based off of his usage. So buying in on Troy Franklin hype. And yeah, as you can see, like last year, man, he didn't really play a ton last year. He was over in 8 out of 17 games. He was pretty explosive, guys. So like longest reception is also a great look. The only reason why I didn't play it is because of the slot stuff. Maybe he does, do some lower ADOT stuff, but I think that like some alt longest receptions are definitely in play for Troy Franklin too. Spent a lot of time looking at that, and I did not even have the banner going the whole time. But yeah, Troy Franklin, you guys knew what was going on with that. Okay, next up, going to Indianapolis, we got the Colts versus the Miami Dolphins. I played this one a little bit weird, man. I played Alec Pierce under 2.5 receptions. Let's see if that's still up there. I really hope it is. But this one was played earlier in the day. But I also played so 0.75 units on Pierce under 2.5 receptions / Achan 3+ receptions. So we can go over here. Alec Pierce, still this super juice line is there. Bet Online also has one, so if you can play it over there too. But yeah, guys, Alec Pierce under 2.5 receptions. You go to this, go to games with Downs, Pittman, Taylor. Under an 11 out of 18 games, only averaging 1.9 receptions. In the sample, he's averaging 3.6 targets. You can also go over here. His snap percentage in these games, guys, was at 86.4. And I don't think that's going to stick whatsoever. So I'm very low on Pierce, man. And guys, this hit rate too was with quarterbacks who would throw the ball downfield. Daniel Jones does not do that. And with basically no one at tight end, right? Kylan Granson has been the tight end the past couple of years. Now enter Tyler Warren, who's like a blue chip tight end prospect. He's definitely a low ADOT, yak guy who is going to be very, very good. He's going to get a lot of targets, probably like 6 a game or something like that. Going from Kylan Granson, who's like a 2 target a game guy, there's a lot more target competition. Josh Downs is like a sneaky, really good player. Michael Pittman's very solid. And then you got Adonai Mitchell, AD Mitchell, a ton of camp hype. There's a quote out of camp that's like, they said the Colts front office, like deep down believes that he's the most talented receiver on the team. And I believe it, man. You watch AD Mitchell play, he's a stud. So I think that Pierce is going to be down in like the 55% route participation range now. I think it's going to be him slightly over AD, but yeah, man. And then of course, like the Daniel Jones effects. Like Daniel Jones does not throw the ball downfield. Alec Pierce is not earning targets over Downs, Pittman, Warren, AD Mitchell. So I think that like 3 targets is kind of close to a ceiling outcome for Pierce playing with Daniel Jones, and he is a very high ADOT receiver. So like expecting him to catch all 3 of his targets is super unrealistic. So I think there's a good chance that he's like in like the 1 to 2 target range, 50% catch rate guy, 55% catch rate guy. So that's why I'm sprinkling on him under 1.5 receptions as well. Getting that really nice plus money price, even though it seems like it dropped a little bit there. But yeah, man, super out on Pierce this year, man. Just don't see the targets. Obviously, I did an Achan pairing with that. You can just do with Tua last year. I mean, he had 3+ receptions every single game, average 6.1 receptions. So, I mean, he was just absolutely crushing it. Really like over 4.5 receptions. And another Achan thing is that no Jonnu either. He was like the other low ADOT guy. So you could even make a case that it's like a better setup for Achan last year. And Darren Waller, who was probably going to be like 60% of Jonnu or something, he's already hurt. So he's not playing. They basically don't have a tight end playing. I think it's like Julian Hill or something. Let's scroll down. Yeah, Julian Hill. So yeah, it's a better setup, I think, and just absolutely crushed this. This feels like famous last words, man. This feels like a decent juice reducer to get that down to the -141. All right, next play. So this is my only look for Sunday Night Football. I didn't really have any crazy reads on the Sunday Night Football game, but I did go with Josh Allen over 6.5 rushing attempts. So if we go to, where's Josh? We go to rushing attempts, 6.5. Okay, there we go. Still at FanDuel, -114. Love to see it. So mine stayed exactly the same. And yeah, man, let's go to, the last couple of years, but let's filter out. We're going to do a couple filters here. So the first filter we're going to use is, obviously, guys, this is a 1.5 point spread. So let's, the filter I used was 2-score games. So 16 points one way, or 16 points both ways. So in 2-score games, the last 2 years, he's been over in 17 out of 25 games. And I'll explain why that's important soon. And then if you take out some of these games, because this was post the Joe Brady firing. If you guys remember, he got fired after they lost to Russell Wilson when Allen or Ken Dorsey got fired. So then it's a 14 out of 18 hit rate with Brady in 2-score games. Look, this is a little narrative-y, but I love doing stuff like this. It's Lamar versus Allen on Sunday Night Football. I always like to attack quarterbacks to run the ball a little bit more in high leverage games. I mean, this is just an important game. Seeding could very easily come down to it. It's like the two favorites for MVP dueling it out in prime time. I think that Josh Allen will definitely be way more willing to run. I think the coaching staff, Joe Brady, will be more willing to drop designed runs and stuff in a spot like this. So yeah, man, just higher leverage. The third and final point I want to make on this Allen look is that Baltimore's defense is like going to be very, very good. Like the Bills' skill position players, I think are still very suspect. Like Shakir, Coleman, Kincaid. Like I think they're still very suspect. Ravens over the last 10 games were first in EPA against the pass last year, second in the run. They added Jair Alexander. Their PFF's 10th best D line coming in, and the best secondary coming in. So, best secondary. If these guys can't separate and make stuff happen downfield, if maybe the pass rush is getting home a little bit, it's just more reasons for Allen to take things into his own hands. Just given that he's going up against a good defense, so that can definitely cover his weapons and stuff. So yeah, man, Josh Allen over 6.5 rushing attempts. Love this spot game for Josh here, and assuming the game stays close, which hopefully it should. Definitely has a good track record under Joe Brady and hitting this line in games that are competitive. All right, moving on to the next one. This is kind of a fun one, man. I'm a big fan of this one. Dante Thornton. This is a really weird one. If you guys don't know who that Dante Thornton is, he is 6'5". I think he ran a 4.2840. Just an absolute freak athlete. There's been a ton of buzz of him coming out. Amari Cooper, obviously, guys, he just retired. But even before that, on like an unofficial depth chart, Thornton was listed ahead of him too, which is cool to see. But yeah, guys, I mean, this dude is like you watch this dude play a little bit. He's just like clearly a deep threat. He's really their only like big receiver. So I think that he's gonna play pretty much he's gonna be on the field for most passing downs, most reps. Definitely in 3 wide sets, he's gonna be on the field pretty much every time. Is like the X guy. In 2 wide, I would expect it to be him and Myers, but maybe some Tucker rotated in too. So yeah, just like this is his play style. I'm gonna buy into some of the upside. The first one was the longest reception, 20 plus yards. I don't see him getting any targets really, unless they're deep crossers, go routes, downfield stuff. I think that he just like so obviously a deep threat, but like not a route runner whatsoever. So I think that he's going to be one of the higher ADOT guys in the league. Geno Smith is definitely willing to take some shots. Christian Gonzalez also is out for the Patriots, so this secondary is definitely vulnerable without him. And then yeah, man, it's like I think this is a pretty cool price too on the 0.25 unit one. It's a plus 750 for him to go under 2.5 receptions but 30 plus yards. Like I said, man, I mean he's pretty heavily juiced to go under 2.5 receptions. And I think he's going to be like a 18 to 20, which maybe that's being a little bit up. I think he's going to be like a 16 to 20 yards per reception guy. So yeah, just taking some shots on him catching some deep balls. They really were making a big effort to get him the ball downfield in the preseason, and maybe that carries over. Like I said, guys, it's week 1, rookies. He's going to be on the field a ton. He's a deep threat. Just feel like these are some good prices for him. All right, yeah, obviously you guys look at this beautiful props madness screen. That did a whole lot, huh? But yeah. All right, next play, full transparency. If you guys remember Connor Allen, who I had on the stream for a futures episode, maybe like about a week ago or so. He does a great live show with Ryan Noonan, where they give out some props. And I honestly, dude, I kind of just stole it from this, but he sold me on it, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play this too. And the number was still good, so. Yeah, Rachaad White under 21.5 rushing yards, I believe, minus 110 at Caesars. So yeah, let's go take a peek at Rachaad White. But yeah, when I do my numbers too, yeah, looks like it's still some good prices, -114. Looks like DraftKings actually went up a yard too, and ProphetX. So make sure to go hop on this, guys. But yeah, end of the year, guys. I mean, Rashad White, 1 carry, 0 carries in high leverage games. They clearly don't think much of him. They don't think he's a good player. Bucky Irving, on the other hand, is like a legit, like, players as talented as Bucky, pure runners as talented as Bucky are workhorses in this league. Um, so yeah, I expect him to be treated as such. I think he's going to be like a 15 to 17 rush attempt a game guy. There's only so many running back rushing attempts to go around. But even with that, dude, it's like Sean Tucker. I don't know if you guys know who Sean Tucker is. He's a very, very, very good running back. And he's been getting some buzz. Todd Bowles, like, we have to get him the like touches weekly and stuff. I actually think that Sean Tucker is going to be second in the team in rushing attempts. So yeah, Rashad White, he is good in the receiving game, but I think that he's going to be third on this team in rushing attempts. I think that he's going to be like a 2 to 3 median outcome, you know, rushing attempt guy. So I think that this line is egregious. Even if the Tucker thing doesn't come to fruition, let's not forget how inefficient Rashad White is as a rusher. Like, median outcome for his yards per carry is probably around like 3.5, 3.6. So yeah, kind of I've noted this when I did my initial write up. I kind of see him in like a Justice Hill role, where like he's never going to be on the field like in early downs. But like, yeah, he'll get some like draws and stuff here and there, and end up around 2 to 3 rushing attempts once a week. So I'm actually, that's what I think his role is going to be. I think that like some alt unders like could be fun, like him under 10 rushing yards or something. But yeah, but love this play, and shout out Connor for putting me on with this, because I think that this is a really, really good bet. All right. Another bet, like I said, guys, kind of went crazy, dude. Like, holy shit. Um, but next bet is going to be, did I even? Okay, I did. It's going to be Hunter Renfrow over 2.5 receptions of the Carolina Panthers now for plus 158 at FanDuel. That's what I got it at least. And I'm trying to find where the hell is. Oh, there we go. Hunter Renfrow. Looks like it went up to plus 162. So, guys, maybe I'm on the wrong side of this. I definitely know I'm taking a risk betting this Renfrow line, but I love the price. There's really not a ton of target competition. I mean, so at tight end, it's like Jatavian Sanders. I think he's definitely a below average tight end. Ted McMillan, he's probably going to be pretty good. He was drafted very high. You could make an argument that like he's like a Mike Evans type, which is not like a slight whatsoever, but like a Mike Evans is going to be more downfield, not like a super, super target hog. And I kind of think that that's going to be the case with Ted. And then Xavier Legette, who knows if he's good or not. From the data we have, is he probably isn't very good. And then same with Coker's out. They traded Adam Thielen. So, I mean, they already came out and said that like he's starting at slot. I know they have Jimmy Horn, but Jimmy Horn's like a deep threat guy. I don't think he's like much of like a route runner or anything. Hunter Renfrow, like I said, guys, I could be completely wrong on this, man. But he was a stud on the Raiders until Josh McDaniels like tanked his career. It was really, really weird. And then last year he didn't play because he was sick, lost a ton of weight. Then he got cut by Carolina, and then Jalen Coker got hurt. He's back on Carolina. I think that, like I said, I've always thought he's like a pretty good player. I think he's like at this point of his career, he's pretty similar to like Adam Thielen, right? Like a slot guy, zone beater, decent routes, and from like a low ADOT thing. Like, let's not forget that Adam Thielen over the last 2 years has averaged 5.6 receptions per game. Like, Bryce Young has shown that he can feed the low ADOT slot guy. And yeah, man, I'll take a stab at this, dude. Like, 2.5 receptions is like not a big ask whatsoever. They already came out and said he's a starting slot. I'm sure they'll be in a fair bit of 3 wide sets. Maybe if the Panthers are just a bad team, and they're, Renfro's will cash us in like the last drive of the game in garbage time or something, like that's on the table. So yeah, dude, this is a price bet. Big fan of this. I wonder what his yards are at. 16.5. Yeah, buy into some variance though and take the plus money. I think that's the way to play it. As your 1.5s out there, it looks like there is some super juice ones, but yeah. Hunter Renfrow, like I said, just think it's going to be very similar to what it looked like with Adam Thielen. I've always been a fan of his. And yeah, I think that Josh McDaniels tanked his career. Like I said, I could be wrong, and maybe he's just completely terrible. But At the same time, Adam Thielen was putting up pretty good numbers at like age 35 and 34 or whatever it is. So Hunter Renfrow over 2.5 receptions. I will bite on that. All right. Final play, guys. Like I said, definitely loaded up for week 1 now. You can go back and watch the show with Joel and even Lucas. I gave out a prop there. So I wonder at the end of the week, I don't even know how many props I'm at right now. I got to go put it in my Excel spreadsheet. But final prop of the week, really like this one as well. Braylon Allen over 6.5 rushing attempts, minus 135 at Bet365. I just played this maybe like 30 minutes ago, so think that line would probably still be there. But yeah, and then there's definitely like some like other 6.5. Looks like Caesars finally moved up. ESPN, DraftKings. So it looks like everyone kind of moved up besides MGM and Novig. But 365 should still be there. I don't know why it's not showing up. I know ProphetX had some on there too. And honestly, guys, like 7.5 at plus money, I think I'm cool with for half a unit as well. But yeah, look, all reports out of camp preseason, preseason usage have this as like a very split backfield. Pretty similar to how the head coach comes from Detroit, Aaron Glenn. The offensive coordinator comes from Detroit. They've talked about Monty and Gibbs type usage for Allen and Brees, and I don't think that will be the case. But like 6.5 compared to what Brees is at right now, which is like 11.5, I just think that's like way too wide of like a split. Like I think it's going to be very close. This Jets team is going to be like one of the most run heavy teams in the league, like especially in games like this. I love the game environment for it too. 2.5 point spread. Jets are at home. Steelers always like play down a competition. They never blow teams out. Obviously, like different quarterback and stuff, but that's just like who the Steelers have been for like a long ass time now. And in a close game, like this Jets team is just going to run the shit out of the ball. Braylon Allen should absolutely be getting pretty much all the short yardage stuff, which is great for attempts, right? Like 3rd and 1. Okay, he's going to get like a 1 or 2 yard carry here, but that's an attempt. So yeah, man. I think that Braylon Allen in games that are competitive like this is going to be, more so in the 9 rushing attempt range. And yeah, 6.5 I think is a steal. 7.5 at plus money I think is a great bet. We'll probably scale down to like I said, like 0.75 if you like don't have 365 MGM or Novig, which you guys should have Novig. Use the link in my description and code Betten, to get some extra stuff in there for that. But Braylon Allen 6.5 rushing attempts, good at 7.5. Don't really like his yards personally. I think that like his yards are a little bit too high. Would maybe like it at like 24.5. So see if it drops or something. But yeah, Braylon Allen, Jets in general in games that should be competitive should be an absolute run fest. So yeah, love that one as well. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Like I said, make sure to check out Underdog. Like I said, you can bet straight there, and that's just gonna be such a huge edge going forward. So yeah, big fan of that. Use code Betten when you make that deposit. Click the link down below. And of course, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to drop a like and sub to the channel. It's greatly appreciated. And I'll be back for Monday Night Football for doing a video tomorrow night. We'll have it ready for that. And that should be a little fun game too. So appreciate you guys tuning in and catch you guys next time.